Right. Morning, y'all. It is very early and dark, so we are just going to get started right where we left off. Okay, so we definitely want laser pen. Makes it a little bit easier. So we left off talking about these income disparities throughout Latin America. Some countries, citizens are relatively well off at around $25,000 a year. Pretty good income. Where other countries, people are not nearly as well off with around $8,000 a year. And then we talked about some of the reasons for that, different governments, government corruption, different levels of gang crime, different levels of development. Sometimes countries have valuable resources in them. Like Venezuela was full of oil, and back when oil was valuable, Venezuela was rich. Now oil is cheap, so Venezuela is poor. Okay, so now we're going to study another another little case study of Haiti. It is an island nation. It shares an island with the Dominican Republic in the Caribbean. It's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, not in the world. On average, a citizen in Haiti can expect to make about $1,200 a year. So that's about $100 a month. Very poor. 60% of the population is living under the poverty line. They have trouble getting access to food and clean water. 40% unemployment. Haiti has gotten really the short end of the stick a few times now. In the last 20 years, there was a massive earthquake there in 2010, and millions of dollars were given to the government to pay its citizens for disaster relief and such, and instead the government just stole the money and never gave it to anybody. So the people suffered, the government stole the money, and it was a fiasco, a disaster. That's government corruption right there. And after that, a hurricane hit the island in 2016 and just further devastated the island. So Haitians really can't catch a break. And there was also severe drought. So they've really been rolling with the punches lately, those guys. It's a tough time to be a Haitian these last 20 years. A cool fact about Haiti, it is the world's first African republic, the world's first black republic. Black slaves who were brought over by the French instituted a slave rebellion in Haiti and established a republic. It was a democracy on the Western Hemisphere before the United States, the first democracy in the West. And it still is a republic. So, cool fact. The world's only slave republic. So human interaction with the environment is one of the 5 themes of geography. I was just talking about Venezuela. Petroleum is gas. If you ever see petroleum, that just means gasoline. So gasoline production in Venezuela was really high. We saw a big dip here in 2003 for some reason. I can't tell you. I'd have to look it up. But steady production of oil until 2016, the oil market crashes and boom, boom. So the production of oil has gone down because the demand has gone down. And when no one's buying your product, there's no reason to really keep creating it. But as you can see here, 99% of the earnings of Venezuela are from oil. So if their oil revenue goes down, then their earning goes down, and Venezuela is in a really tough spot right now. There is currently 2 governments operating in opposition to one another. They have a president. There are 2 presidents, and one has control of the Congress, and the other one has control over their assembly. So it's a mess in Venezuela, and it's mostly due to the fact that their economy is tanked because of their reliance on oil production. So cash crops, Cash crops are, crops we make cash on. It's pretty simple. So these are some really important ones in Latin America. Historically and currently, we've got coffee, cacao, which makes chocolate, soy. You guys know all about that here in Minnesota. We produce a lot of soy. Potatoes. Potatoes come from South America. Quinoa, another thing that comes from the Andes Mountains. And sugar production is really big in Latin America. Let's see. Talk about a couple of big tourist areas. The Dominican Republic, which is next door to Haiti, is very popular for people to visit. It's more stable than Haiti. You don't have to worry about as much poverty and crime and things like that. Then here are some fun things you can do down there. They got Carnival down there, which is really worldwide famous. Jamaica is really big for tourism. My parents went there and got married. Jamaica is a Caribbean island. It is a lot of ecotourism there because they have really beautiful jungles and like rainforests and such. A lot of people like to go hiking and stuff. So tourism is a really huge part of Latin American economy. Let's see how far we are. Oh, we're only at 7 minutes. Sweet. We got plenty of time. So we can talk about, oh, whoops. The population pyramid. Okay, so I don't think we've worked with population pyramids that much in the past. They're a cool little tool we can use to measure ages inside a country and see how many people are what age. Oops. So if we've got 0 to 4, we've got population in millions. So there is about probably 0.7.5, maybe 0.75 million people who live in Ecuador who are between the ages of 0 and 4. And then it goes up to maybe 0.77, we'll say, or 0.76 million people who are 5 to 9 years old. So these usually form a pyramid because, as you can imagine, the more younger people you have, the more they are. They haven't had a chance to die yet. By the time you're 40 years old, you've had a lot more opportunities to die than when you're 5 or 9. So you're going to have a smaller population because people will have gotten in car accidents or gotten cancer or gotten sick or any number of things that lead from people to die between the ages of 0 and 40. So some countries will have different shaped pyramids, and it tells a lot about the country. For example, a country like Japan would look like if you inverted this pyramid, because their populations are shrinking. So there are smaller amounts of younger people and larger amounts of older people. So in Ecuador, as we can see, there are the largest majority of people are between the ages of 20 and 24. And by the time you're 50 or 60, there's barely any of you left, less than half. So life expectancy isn't very good in Ecuador. And as you can imagine, your odds of living until you are 90 years old are pretty slim. Not even 0.1 million people, not even 100,000 people out of a million. Or whoops, I'm stupid. Population in millions. So not even 0.1 million people. Oh, yeah, I said that right. Are 90 years old. Where in America, it's way different. I almost should pull one up, but we're not talking about those ones. Once we get to those countries, we'll look at their population pyramids, especially in Europe, and you'll notice they're way different. And that is because there is way more access to healthcare when you get older. There is less stress in your life, more education. People live longer when they're happier. And so, how would we describe Ecuador's population pyramid? Well, it is much larger at the bottom than at the top, which shows that life expectancy is not very good in Ecuador. As you can see here, females live longer on every single age group. And you'll notice that that's everywhere across the whole world because women live longer than men for a variety of different reasons that we're not going to get into. So anyways, I think I'm going to call it there. Otherwise, we'll get going too far. So thanks y'all for watching. Have a great day.